Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about the hand-me-down clothes.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about the hand-me-down clothes. So I have to admit, well, first of all, the whole reason I'm even doing this particular podcast, because it's weird, I very rarely look at my analytics. So for those of you who, pay attention and watch and listen, and wherever you're viewing this from or listening to it, your favorite podcast platform, I just want to thank you for showing up. I hope you get some value out of these. I just share my thoughts. And I got in the other day, a friend of mine was asking me, hey, how do I listen to your podcast? And I kind of walked them through and just wanted to make sure I was doing it right. And I said, look, the cool thing about going to anchor.fm/Ryan Roy is you have the ability to pick which podcast platform you want to listen on. And he's like, well, I'm iTunes. I was like, well, click on iTunes. And when he went, I saw that there was huge viewership, comparatively speaking, on the recycled toys. I was like, that's kind of weird. Why are people listening to that? So I figured I'd do an episode on hand-me-downs. So on our second child, we didn't find out the sex of the baby. And maybe I'll do a podcast on that for all you know. And I remember a lot of people saying, oh, I couldn't do that. And you can do it if you had earlier trauma, which my wife and I had lost two to miscarriage, one of which we knew the sex, which I think brought further attachment, which brings further trauma. But during this pregnancy, this last one, where we had our second miracle baby, we thought it was a girl. We had 4 boys' names picked just in case. We couldn't decide on one. I just remember, I'm a guy, right? So for my guy listeners, you can relate to this. I knew my wife had put away a lot of the toys and kept a lot of toys. I knew she also donated a lot of stuff. We kept neutral stuff on the crib the first time around in the baby's room. But I knew if we had a little girl, this was going to cost me a small fortune. And honestly, whatever we were going to have, I actually was set on a girl. We had a girl's name picked out. We were gender neutral on a lot of stuff. But the moment that baby popped out and we heard that cry, and I looked over at that child as I was right there bedside with my wife, boom. I looked at her. She says, is everything okay? I said, he is amazing. We need to pick a name. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, that's our biggest problem right now. We need to pick a boy's name. And then we said Jaden. She's like, you like Jaden? I said, I love Jaden. I said, he looks like a Jaden. She's like, okay, we'll do that. And she got all emotional. And I can tell you, my next thought was, man, I hadn't even shopped at Geico, and I just saved a ton of money because I could recycle everything. The funny thing is, my wife kept everything, and we take care of our things, and if there was a stain or anything like that, we do discard of those things. But I watch these boys wear the same outfit 6 years later, and part of me is like, really? Why don't we just buy the kids some new clothes? But she's like, why? We have all these clothes. These clothes are fine. Until it comes to the pictures, right? And all the pictures are like, which kid is it? Well, I don't know. Let's check the date of the picture. Why? Because they're all the same clothes. And they do look pretty similar. It's funny, Jaden now looks at a picture of myself and his brother at his age on a rock at a park. And yesterday I said, well, who's that? We go around the house looking at pictures, and he says, that's Jaden. And I was like, no, that's not Jaden, that's Christian. And he looked at me like I was crazy, because he looks just like his brother at that age. Anyway, the point being, whatever you can as a parent, if you plan on having a second child, if you only have one right now, do yourself a favor. This is how my wife did it. It was on diaper size. So whatever the diaper size was, so say it was an infant diapers, any clothes that we kept that were infant clothes got packed into an old diaper box of that age and that size. So when it got to 1 size diapers, those were the clothes that went in that box. And the 2 size diapers, and the 3 size, and the 4 size, and we're up to 5 now. But she just keeps pulling out diaper boxes. She's like, oh, he's ready for these clothes. The diaper size changed, his weight has changed, his size has changed. This is the diaper. And I was like, what a genius idea. I don't know where she got it from. That's my little quick, simple tip for those of you who want to have other children. Here's the other thing. Recycle the clothes, hand-me-downs. The kids don't know, especially at this age, it doesn't matter. But even if you were to have a little girl, like in my case, if I were to have a little girl, I would have had all those boy clothes. And I would have reached out to somebody. There's a lot of girls in my neighborhood. And I'd have said, do you have any girl clothes? You want to swap? Because there's no good reason, honestly, to spend a ton of money on kids' clothes when you've already had one child. Clean them, wash them, take care of them. Discard those that obviously are not like new. But do yourself a favor and pack those clothes away. Because one day, you'll have that miracle baby number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And you don't have to go and spend all that money on clothes that are perfectly good. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.